Mariners 6, Angels 2. Cole Young had a near perfect game at the plate on Monday to get the Mariners right back to 500. Welcome to the Dom Skeen channel, your one-stop shop for the Mariners storylines on Seattle's minds. And this game, Cole Young, first multi-homer game of his career. And why was it a near perfect game? Well, we're going to get right into it. First of all, obviously the Mariners' 283 expected batting average brought up by both of Cole Young's homers. One would, 406 feet, one 412 feet. One was to center field, one was to right field. But both just excellent pieces of hitting nonetheless. And went 1-0 on both of them. His approach is so advanced at the age he's at. Just his ability, like the way that he sees breaking balls at his age is just not normal. So he goes in this game 3 for 3, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs, 1 2-run homer, 1 solo shot. And that's really what won this game for the Mariners. They only made the Angels throw 8 more pitches than them. They didn't do, the Angels actually got 2 more hits, despite the low 223 expected batting average they had. They hit the ball hard, just as much as the Mariners did, 9 times to the Mariners 10. So they did just as well as the Mariners on the night, really, except the fact that Cole Young hit 2 homers. He was mainly the difference in this game. Otherwise, the Mariners, and them, it would have been 3-2, and it would have been really anyone's game. So going back to those 2 homers, first of all, and he just gets 3 at bats total in this game, I think, is the thing. So I'm gonna go look. It's taking me a second to bring it up. Yeah, plate appearance 18 of the game. So he works a full count. He gets thrown, a couple offerings, all sorts outside of the strike zone. It gets to a 3-2 count, right? The funny thing about this, the thing that I love about this at bat is the fact that Cole Young did not swing until the 6th pitch, the sinker that he right in the middle that he gets for the homer, and none of the other pitches were worth swinging at. If you look at them, they were all pretty much garbage, right, outside of the plate. And really one really good pitch, that sinker at the bottom of the zone. There's also this cutter outside of the zone, which it looked like Cole Young, was like, oh dang, right, that made it 3-2, made it a full count. But he knew not to challenge it because it's even though it was close, borderline, right? He knew that it wasn't a strike. Cole Young is just special. Like, he is special at seeing breaking balls. I think he has something with his eyesight or with the way that it connects to his brain, where his ability to identify breaking balls and do what he needs to do with them, and to see spin. Like, he sees spin at such an elite level that I think he has a long ways to go still to become the best version of himself. But like, that tool is starting him out so much higher than a lot of other players, and it's gonna have him end up further ahead than a lot of other players at certain ages as well. And I'm excited to see what it looks like at his 23, 24, and beyond seasons. Because in his year 22 season right now, it is absolutely, just fascinating to watch from a human perspective. A 22-year-old out here in this grown man's game that's full of like 30 and 35-year-olds with a whole lot more life experience, who, with his plate approach, the data would say, I'm sure would say that he would be one of these older guys. He is very, very. Let me know in the comments below. Kind of an abstract comment question of the day today. What do you think it is about Cole Young? Is it his eyesight? Is it something about the way that his eyes connect to his brain? I don't know how do you think about these things all day? Do you think of it in the biological sense? Do you think of it as like a mental thing? Or do you, as a ball player, do you think of it as like ability to pick up spin, and how do you do that? Or why, is he so good at it? Let me know in the comments below any thoughts you have on Cole Young's absolutely special ability to pick up spin, that it seems like, he has a part of it that you almost can't teach, at such a young age. He has what seems like a God-given gift to do so. You look at his next at bat, and two pitches, right? He does take the splitter for a called strike on the corner. It's okay. Sorry, this is Cal Raleigh. And yeah, I was like, okay, so yeah, I was like, okay, that's not right. Cal Raleigh does get a hit there. Nice little two pitch at bat. But so what I loved about, he works the full count, by literally not swinging the bat, and then he homers that first at bat. Second at bat, he takes the first pitch, which is the sinker off the plate, but he sees it so well. You can tell he's just committed, and he just goes on it and he puts it into the opposite field. It was just, it's as great as of a piece of hitting as you could ask for. Gets the runner to second. 530 expected batting average, right? He's hitting to the opposite field on the first pitch sinker that's way down there. Yeah. Then the final one for Cole Young, Mitch Ferris throws him a four-seam fastball up in the zone, first pitch, and Cole Young he was licking his lips as this thing was, as this pitcher was winding up. He was just ready to eat. He was just, he was licking his chops, ready for dinner, and he ate on this four-seam fastball, put that thing into the seats, 950 XBA. Forget about it. Scored Josh Naylor 2 on that one. That's how he ended up at 3 RBI. And you go and look at this game. Cole Young was it. This is the Cole Young game. He is really getting hot. He's really improving, and there's no reason he can't keep improving and improving the next 3, 4, 5 years. He's 22. He is not by any means a finished product. And we got to remind ourselves of that. Just because they get taken off the prospect list because they graduate into the big leagues, just because they're big leaguers even. 22 years old, think about if you were 22 years old, or if you're younger than 22. When I was 18, I thought I knew everything. When I was 22, I started to realize that I didn't know everything about life, and I entered really the adult world, graduated college. Cole Young didn't go to college. He spent those 4 years, basically going to college in the minor leagues before going to, becoming joining the workforce, which was going to the big leagues for him, and for myself, I remember being 22, getting out of college and, joining the workforce. And it's like, okay, now, you're in the real world. And now you realize you really don't know everything. Once you get out of, the school system, education, you realize you don't know everything. And you start to get a lot smarter because, a lot of people do, a lot of people who they have, good education or maybe not, that maybe they just, have an ability to question things, to learn things, and to keep adapting and picking up on things, and they just have some advanced traits. And Cole Young is clearly one of those people. He's fascinating to watch. And, 2 first pitch, pieces of damage on fastballs. All 3 were actually on fastballs, 2 on a sinker, 1 on a four seam, 2 of them were in the zone, 1 sinker, 1 four seam. 2 of them low pitches. Both the sinker ones were on lower pitches, or actually no, 2 of them were, one was like the middle of the zone right there. But that was the one in the full count. 2 were first pitches. One was on full count. You had a really nice game at the plate for Cole Young where he was so decisive on what he was trying to do. And every time he swung in this game, Cole Young swung 3 times in this game. He was 3 for 3 on those swings, and with 2 homers. Pretty awesome stuff. You also got to talk about George Kirby though, because this man also went 8 innings, 7 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, 7 hits, and 1 walk. But 8 hard hits on 100 pitches. He was prolific. He gave you a lot of length and got your bullpen out of the situation they were in over the weekend. Tax bullpen really could have used, a big start, and you get it. 17 swinging strikes on 100 pitches. That's the thing that I really wanted to see. I wanted to see Kirby pushing for the strikeouts, and he found a way to do it while using the sweeper as his primary pitch. And that, because he did that, it makes me more optimistic going forward that he can do this thing where he's basically hell-bent on not allowing any hard contact. 88.7 mile an hour average exit velocity, just keeps turning in these performances under 90 miles an hour, which really just limits the scope of what an offense can hope for against George Kirby. You can hope to win a game like, really it's like now, okay, we're going to try to play it across 2 runs, scrapping them together here and there. Or Zach Neto just scores 2 his first time through the order, and that's it. But to win against George Kirby, right, it's going to have to be sometimes like a 2-1 game. He's not going to give up a whole lot of runs because he's not going to give up a whole lot of contact. Now when he does go up against a lineup like the Guardians again, I think that's where they might be able to get him, just going through, get the turnstiles going, get some longer innings. The Angels only, once he's in the 8th inning and he's really switching stuff up, trying stuff out with this pitch mix, it's almost like, this was kind of like trying stuff out at that point for Kirby, because you've already shown him everything. You're on your 4th time through the order. That is one of the cooler things. How many times have we had a Mariners pitcher this season go at all into the 4th time through the order? Let me know down in the comments below. I can't think of it, but I would like to think of that, or I'd like to figure that out. And I think that's really all I want to talk about here, except, okay, no, that isn't all I want to talk about. I got to give credit to all these different pitches. 3 of them in particular getting the low average EVs. The sweeper getting 7 swing strikes on 36 pitches, which is pretty good. Not nearly as good as like the 4 on 12 knuckle curves, that 3 on 7 changeups. Those things might be making a comeback into the arsenal if they're getting whiffs like that. And does he up the usage? Let's see. So he uses these more the next times through the order than the first one. He ups that knuckle curve the 2nd time. He ups that changeup the 3rd time. So those are the later times through the order type pitches. The sweeper, right, is the one that he's going to start out with and throw a whole lot the first time through the order just to get a feel for things. And I think that actually makes sense to me. The 2nd time through the order is where he's going to start prioritizing stuff like the knuckle curve. Then the 3rd time through the order, okay, now you're going for more 4-seam. The sinker is kind of the consistent primary throughout, really. Like, even though the sweeper ends up being the one that he throws more by 6 times, 6%, the sinker is the primary, the one that's steady, consistent throughout the order. I mean, I guess so. You could say the sweeper is too, but the sweeper is the one the sinker is the one that's the most consistent. 31, 30, 32% through the order, and then 24 the 4th time. The sweeper 46, 26, 24, 47. So he's really got like these 2 primaries, one in which he kind of turns halves and then brings back, and then the sinker is the most consistent. The 4-seam is that's your burner, which you're going to get some swing and miss on. 2 on 15, that's actually not that bad. And then 1 on 30 sinkers, that wasn't awesome, but you did get an 81.5 mile-an-hour average EV on that. He went 44% zone rate and 70% strike rate. Anytime you can throw it in the zone so little and get so many strikes on these batters, that's a success. Even when it's a 20 out of 30 first pitch strike rate. So even though that's maybe a little bit low. Big, he's getting, and then when he does throw it in the zone, 82% zone swing percentage. So they're swinging at basically everything in the zone, and then but they're also chasing out of the zone. That he had him frustrated. 43% chase is insane. So overall, he was getting the chase, he was getting the swing and miss. He also was getting weak contact, and he also was trying stuff out. And he got 4 times through the order, and in 8 innings through, or at least he got into the 4th time through the order, and he got through 8 innings, allowing 2 runs. You cannot be upset about that one bit. I think that's going to do it for today. I know the lineup's out, so I got to get the pregame out for you guys. But Cole Young career game, pretty awesome. Mariners back at 500. A new episode of the 1-0 podcast coming tonight. We're planning on filming it. So it's been a minute since we've had Don Dishes on the channel, but we should be back tonight if all things go according to plan. See you guys then. And remember, as long as you go 1-0 every pitch, stay stoic and give all glory to God. You can't lose. I will see you guys later tonight. Go M's. Oh, and by the way, one last thing. Shout out to my buddy Jack Attica. He told me that Cole Young was going to homer. Jack, you were right. He homered twice.